And welcome to Assembly Calendar. I'm Ted Flint. Joining us today, Assemblyman Michael Novikov, who serves the 45th Assembly District, which includes Kings County. Assemblyman Novikov, good to see you.
Good to see you, Ted.
Well, always a lot happening here, not just in Albany, but everywhere, it seems, in the last few days. I want to get your reaction to the assassination attempt of President Trump a few days ago at the Hilton Hotel.
I mean, of course, any assassination attempt is absolutely terrible and unacceptable, and political violence is unacceptable. But what's more concerning is the reaction of some people on it, who are, making jokes around it and,
Yep.
And stuff like that. I think this is as unacceptable as the attempt itself. That rhetoric of the last year's rhetoric about President Trump, you can agree with Trump or not, that hate rhetoric is what makes this dangerous. And when people call him fascist and other unacceptable cliches, that this is what makes some mentally ill individuals do something that happened recently. And thank God, the majority of people are okay, and thank God the president and the first lady are okay. But it could have ended much worse. We all understand that. So the hate rhetoric against the president of the country, again, if you agree with him, you disagree with him, it doesn't matter. You can't hate a person just because
Right.
you're full of hate.
If it were a one and done, you could say, well, these things happen, but it's the third attempt on the president's life in a very short span of time. And it's, I was around in 1968. I remember that year, and the political violence. RFK and Martin Luther King were killed 6 weeks apart. You had all kinds of assassinations, of riots at the DNC and in Watts. It was a crazy time, and I think some of the same elements are at work here in 2026 in America.
Oh, certainly. And but let's take a look at the where it goes from. It's from the left to the right, not vice versa, right?
Right.
There are no attempts from the right to, there's no violence from the right to the left. Yes, we criticize the left. Yes, we disagree with the socialists. But I completely disagree with Mayor Mamdani and with what he does and with his social views and political views. But it doesn't mean that I'm gonna run with a gun to the city hall, trying to kill him. So. But from the left, we're seeing a total opposite, right? We're still seeing people who want to kill other people, and that's I can't believe that this is happening in today's America.
Comment on the Safe Ride Secure program. And it's government's job is public safety is job one, right?
I strongly believe that public transportation should be a safe place for all riders, and the biggest public transportation system in the United States, which is New York City, the MTA, should be the safest one. That's
right.
Like everyone agrees with that, but unfortunately, the majority, the Democrats, are not doing. They're not doing anything to make it a safer place for riders. And they kind of, let's say congestion pricing, right? So they make these people ride the train or the bus instead of the car, because it's just too expensive to drive a car to the city now. But they're not making it safe. I truly believe that we should have barriers. We should have barriers between the tracks and the platform. Yes, it does cost money, but the MTA wastes so much money on nothing that and it's not transparent. By the way, I have another bill which calls for transparency for the MTA, but they don't want to be transparent because it's like a government inside the government. They don't want any transparency whatsoever. So I think we can find money for building those barriers, because 9 people were pushed into the tracks from the beginning of the year. 9
Oh my
people.
God.
Yeah, it's like, in average, if you think about it, every 2 weeks someone is being pushed into the tracks.
And the other side is more concerned about the criminals than they are about the people being pushed onto the tracks.
Oh,
it would
definitely.
appear.
And the person who was arrested last time, who killed a 84-year-old veteran, Mr. Williams, because he never recovered from that fall. So he was arrested. He had 15 prior arrests. He was deported from this country. He was deported from our country 2 times.
And he found his way back.
Right. He did. He should never, end up in our country. So, the loss, it happens because unfortunately, the Democrats are on the side, and then the bail reform and all this stuff.
Right.
They're on the side of criminals, not New Yorkers, not the working New Yorkers, and that's, I never understood why. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you siding with the criminals? Why are you making it easier for them to commit one crime after another?
Yeah.
Why? And that's what the bail reform is about. We discussed that we did need a reform, right?
Right.
But
yeah.
It wasn't a reform that just killed the system that was working. Yes, it was working with some issues, and we needed to fix stuff there.
Yeah.
Some people ended up in jail. Unfortunately, it wasn't fair. Like, I don't know, someone was stopped without a driver's license. The bail was $500. His family couldn't pay the bail. He spent 6 months in Rikers Island. Is it fair? No, it's not fair.
Right.
But it wasn't a reform. They just killed the system that worked and needed to be reformed. It was the reform. So, and now we are seeing the consequences of, so-called reform. This is not a reform. My bill in particular says about the sex offenders, because, listen, my wife rides a train sometimes, my daughter, and I don't want a sex offender sitting next to my family members, and I'm pretty sure there's no person in the world who would want to see that, would want to risk his family member safety in the train or in the bus. So I think these people shouldn't be riding the public transportation. Very
good. The next issue also deals with public safety. This the mayor vetoed Intro 1750 175B, rather, the buffer zone bill